Greetings. This is a study of the units on fractions, and you will find this unit to be very helpful in the sense that you begin with a basic understanding of fractions, how to represent fractions in different forms. You begin with the mixed number and learn how to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. Then you will proceed to converting fractions to their decimal equivalents. And from there, you'll begin to produce equivalent fractions. We will carry you also through a review of the basic operations with fractions. After you've represented fractions on a number line, of course, you will want to review the basic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. As you go through these basic operations, you will find one concept that will be very important to master. That is the concept of the identity property. And of course, the identity property simply states that if you multiply a non-zero number times 1, the product is that number. And you will find that the identity property is so important when you're producing equivalent fractions. Why do you need to produce equivalent fractions? Certainly when you're adding or subtraction fractions that have very different denominators, you need to use identity property to produce an equivalent fraction where the denominators are the same. It's important to master fractions because if you move to algebra, you'll find rational expressions where you have variables involved as well as numerical expressions represented as fractions. So you will begin in algebra to simplify rational expressions. The same basic properties, the same basic operations that you have studied and mastered with fractions involving just numbers, you will find that you will use those same techniques when you begin to look at simplifying rational expressions. Why is it important to master the concepts in this unit on fractions? Well, that's because later on you will begin using fractions in ratio form. You'll begin to study percents. You'll begin to utilize proportions. And you will find that your mastery of fractions will come in very helpful. Also, you will find in real life, fractions are so important in so many different ways. Just take cooking, for example. If you're mixing various ingredients, you will need to have fractional representation and understanding in order to complete certain recipes. If you are shopping and there's a sale, for example, they say you have a shirt that's 25% off, you would need to know how to compute whether you use 25% in decimal form or whether you convert it to its fractional equivalents. So there are so many ways that you will be using these concepts. And so we encourage you to take very seriously this review of fractions and to master the concepts that are represented. Good luck in your studies.